Welcome to the Occult Rejects. This episode, we're returning back with the analysis of the gateway process. It was a rather interesting first part. Some really weird shit in here, and hopefully we'll read some more weirder shit in this part. I don't think we'll get all of it done tonight. It'd be nice if we could, so there might be a part 3. And we got a special guest with us tonight as well. But before we get to her, we're going to introduce Eros. What is going on, Eros? How are you? And thank you very much again for bringing up this topic.
Yeah, hey Nick. I'm so happy to be here with all of you guys. Feels like it's been a while. I'm Eros Up. You can find me on YouTube at Eros Up, and you can find me on X at Eros to Ethos. I just put out an interesting new video you can check out on Chaos and Order Nomiism versus Antinomianism. So that's all I got to plug.
All right. Oh, sounds very good. Definitely go check out her channel. Great stuff on there. She has stuff that she's done with the Occult Rejects that she shared over there too. Go check it out. And we got my man Jules. What is going on, Jules? How are you?
What is up, Nick, Eros, Ethan, Headless? It's good to see you guys. It's always like a family reunion whenever we get together. And Eros, yes, it does seem like it was too long ago, even though it was just, I think, a week or two ago. But we need to do more of these. So, guys, welcome to the Occult Rejects. I am Jules. I am the host of the Gray Pill podcast. And Nick brings me on here every now and again whenever he feels the need to. And I appreciate that always. So happy to be here. You check me out. Follow me on Twitter, X, at Gray Pill Pod. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Gray Pill Podcast is the best way to do it. We do a lot of cool shit over there. Gods of the Morningwood, esoteric book review tomorrow morning. It's going down. Epic of Gilgamesh and Pistis Sophia, I think part 3. So y'all tune in for that.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And with me this evening, for people who watch my show, they haven't seen her in a while because she's been busy, but is my lovely and beautiful wife, Olivia, Miss Babylon.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Olivia.
Find me at Babylon Podcast on YouTube
and Rumble.
And Rumble.
Yeah, she only has put a couple episodes out. She's we have kids and we both work, so she's busy and I'm
excited to be here though. Very.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
this is my cup of tea, talking about
awesome
kind of stuff. I prefer the deeper stuff for sure. So I'm really excited to talk to all of you guys.
If you don't mind, just real quick, like I guess just give people an idea, like kind of like what your show is. When you do more work, what is it going to be geared towards?
Yeah.
What you're into? What are you going to talk about over there?
Just esotericism. Just spirituality, I guess, kind of all encompassing. Reading this gateway process whole thing today kind of it sums a lot of it up, of just kind of, I don't know, kind of a mixture of my own experiences. Like I'd like to do, interview style stuff eventually. But I've had just very profound, enlightening experiences throughout my journey. And I'm constantly trying to make sense of what those mean. And, growing up with a religious background, I think I viewed it at first, once I kind of decided to position myself towards the light again, through a religious lens, and then found that I don't know, it transcends that, right? So I don't know, it's just kind of, I guess, my own journey of figuring things out, Christ consciousness, and just all the things, right? You put me on the spot, sorry.
No, she's a big fan of Rudolf Steiner.
Oh, nice. Really?
Okay. Yeah. She introduced me to Steiner, to be honest with you. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have been talking about any of this stuff with you guys. But yeah, she used to go by Miss Gray Pilled before it was Miss Babylon, I guess, like a year into the show. And we did a couple episodes of, but I've been pushing her to try to get back out there, and it's hard for her to find the time. I guess with me, I'll I'll find like 30 minutes randomly that nobody would even find that, or I'll stay up later and be exhausted the next day, or she has to be with the kids and stuff.
Well, I'm a
so
mom. So if my
yeah,
kids are around
she
at
can't
all,
do stuff
my
like that.
cognitive function is, and I'm very tuned in, I guess you could say. So if my kids are even in the house, like I can feel what my son is feeling in his room, all the way from my bedroom, to the point that I'll go in there and be like, what's up? What's wrong? And he's like, can you just stop, Mom? Like, how do you just know all the time? And I'm like, I can't turn it off. I mean, maybe I could. I prefer not to. At this point, it helps me.
Yeah.
Mom, right?
Well, that's something else that we've talked about. I guess whenever she's come on a few times, there's some experiences she's had and some, things that kind of correlate with other spiritual experiences. And, it's very interesting. The more you learn, like, I read a lot. Well, I kind of used to read more. Now, obviously I don't have as much time, but, the more you learn about the spiritual world and all that, and you guys know this, the more you open up, that opens up in your mind. So you can view things differently. You start to interpret these things in different ways. And, that you see that stuff start to manifest in your life. And so, I don't know, I'm pretty fortunate to have a wife that is as, schizo as me. Right. Let's put that in quotes.
I've just always been, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good.
I've always been just a very deep thinker. Like I just naturally have a very philosophical mind, which was very shunned growing up in a church. You can't put God in a box, right? And so that's why I'm even hesitant to say, like, I like Steiner's takes because he kind of branched off from Blavatsky and some of the others, because he recognized the Christ consciousness component too. But I'm always hesitant to even talk about esoteric Christianity, because Christianity as a religion is just so. I'm not interested in religion, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to, turn people away from wanting to listen to my content at the mention of Christ. You know what I mean? Because I understandably so. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, you need to just come on here more with us and hang out, and people can get to know you a little more. Yeah. And guys, y'all can go and look back the last couple of years and find shows where she's been on. But like I said, it's not really anything like this, right? Any deep dives too much. It's kind of, we were having a good time, and late night streaming back when I used to do a few other shows.
Yeah. I love psychology. I've talked about Carl Jung and stuff like that.
So when you bring her she tries to talk about Carl Jung on like a, some crazy late show. Night. Yeah. Where you're watching
you read the Red Book?
Fight videos and stuff, people.
I haven't read the Red Book, but I would certainly like to.
It's on the list.
I know quite a bit about it. Yeah.
I haven't either. I just figured if you have, you could have came on for that.
Oh.
Well, no, we should hold on. Have you read it?
No, I haven't. No, so many people told me that. Book.
Yeah. I've been reading it.
Really?
Have you? Right. How do you feel about it so far? Sorry, that's probably a difficult.
I feel like the introduction has been more interesting than the book so far.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
That's cool.
See.
Anyway, but yeah. Right. Anyway, enough of us.
Yes, moving on. Ethan, what is going on, sir? How are you?
Well, great to get together with you guys and read this. I find this dialogue is a really efficient way to explore and gain the knowledge of readings. So thanks, Eros and Nick and everybody for putting this together. Ethan Indigo Smith, online, easy to find, and writing frequently. Tao of Thoth and Geometry of Energy are a couple of my books, and articles frequently, and Sundays with Headless and Ricardo. And again, this is going to be awesome. Appreciate you, Nick. Everybody.
Of course. No, thank you. And my man, Headless Giant, what is going on, sir? Let everybody know what's going on with you.
You doing? I've got a bunch of shows, a lot of time, but let's get into it because I think we've been lagging behind. I got some of my plugs out of the way. Thank you, Ethan. But yeah, let's hit it.
All right. Okay. Well, yes, we're back at the paperwork. Oh shit. Yeah, I got it. We start off with the holograms. There we go. All right, you can see it on the screen now.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll start us off. All right. Energy creates, stores, and retrieves meaning in the universe by projecting or expanding at certain frequencies in a three-dimensional mode that creates a living pattern called a hologram. The concept of the hologram can be most easily understood by using an example cited by Bentov, in which he asks the reader to visualize a bowl full of water into which 3 pebbles are dropped. As the ripples created by the simultaneous entry of the 3 pebbles radiate outwards towards the rim of the bowl, Bentov further asks the reader to visualize that the surface of the water is suddenly flash frozen so that the ripple pattern is preserved instantly. The ice is removed, leaving the 3 pebbles still laying at the bottom of the bowl. Then the ice is exposed to a powerful, coherent source of light, such as a laser. The result will be a three-dimensional model or representation of the position of the 3 pebbles suspended in midair. Holograms are capable of encoding so much detail that, for example, it is possible to take a holographic projection of a glass of swamp water and view it under magnification to see small organisms not visible to the naked eye when the glass of water itself is examined. The whole concept of holography, despite its scientific implications, has only been known to the physicist since the underlying mathematical principles were worked out by Denis Gabor in 1947. He later won a Nobel Prize for his work. Laboratory demonstration of Gabor's work only occurred years later following invention of the laser. As biologist Lyle Watson explains, the purest kind of light available to us is that produced by a laser, which sends out a beam in which all the waves are of one frequency, like those made by an ideal pebble in a perfect pond. When 2 laser beams touch, they produce an interference pattern of light and dark ripples that can be recorded on a photographic plate. And if one of the beams, instead of coming directly from the laser, is reflected first off an object, such as a human face, the resulting pattern will be very complex indeed, but it can still be recorded. The record will be a hologram of the face.
Now, we were just talking about that with Ashish, and he was saying that that is the first form of intelligence. And it's amazing how they hone in on that sort of specific laser example immediately, which is, I mean, that's what, all the computer vision stuff is about. Because there's a big, I don't think he actually really even described what he was talking about. There's a huge contest that takes place between computer vision and these guys with the laser beams, right? Whatever they are, Waymo. Well, right. The Waymo car is part of a team. The LiDAR, yeah, it's part of a team that is separate from these computer vision guys, and the computer vision guys completely dominated them in the competition, and yet nobody's paying attention to that on the actual contracts. It's embarrassing, really.
That made me think about a hologram as a visualization and meditation tool. As Jules and Olivia were talking, I was thinking about how taboo spiritual lessons are still sometimes, often enough, and it's some of this is very much like an onion, right? There's many different layers to it. Like spiritual lessons, even though this is, it does explore a lot of spirituality, but not necessarily.
Right. Well, they're going to go into that in the next part. It's just, yeah.
Cool.
Jules, are you going next?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh, do you want to read?
oh,
No.
I was
You
just going
read.
to say quickly that, I resonated with what you just said. I feel like this is all, reading all of this just puts into perspective so many of my spiritual experiences, It's profound. And the
Yeah.
fact that this was written in the 80s is like, what? Sorry, I'm gonna read.
All right.
There was stuff that they were. I think we read last week that was definitely kind of resonated with me, or just a lot of commonalities of experiences that I had that I thought was like kind of fucking weird to like read it in here.
Yeah.
All right, 13, right?
Get it?
13.
Yes.
The part encodes the whole. Of further importance is the fact that even if we dropped our frozen hologram of the ripple pattern on the floor and broke it into a number of pieces, each individual piece would recreate the entire holographic image all by itself. The smaller the piece, the fuzzier and more distorted would be the resulting holographic projection. But the fact remains that a whole projection would nonetheless be made. The key to creating any hologram is that energy in motion must interact with energy in a state of rest, non-motion. Oh. In the foregoing example, the pebbles represent energy in motion, while the water, before its agitation by the pebbles, represents energy at a state of rest. To activate or, in effect, to perceive the meaning of a holograph, energy, in this case a coherent light source such as a laser beam, must be passed through the interference pattern generated by interaction between the moving energy and the energy at rest. In the simple example given by Bentov, this requirement was fulfilled by holding the frozen interference pattern in front of the coherent light to project the three-dimensional holographic image, its meaning into space. As Marilyn Ferguson, I can't read people's names, editor of the Brain Mind Bulletin tells us, another feature of a hologram is its efficiency. Billions of bits of information can be stored in a tiny space. The pattern of the holographic photograph is stored everywhere on the plate. That's crazy. That actually reminds me, like billions of bits of information stored in one tiny space. It's kind of like dimensional spaces too, right? If you have a paranormal experience, there could be a very tiny space that this entity or being is trying to manifest in, right? Like, I don't know.
Well,
But,
think about the example he used. It was as simple as water and ice, right? Water, ice, and pebbles. So any sort of pattern created by those pebbles or something that's moving things around in a wave pattern creates that effect. So every motion, no matter how small they are, is recorded somehow, right? So if you're having a psychic experience with stuff that exists in a different place, maybe you're just tapping into that field.
Yes. Yeah. That 100%. After I lost my dad, I had so many experiences with him where I'd ask for something and he'd send me that exact thing. I mean, like spot on. Still, if I ask, it happens. And I always thought of that analogy, like you break a cookie into a bunch of pieces. Which piece is the cookie, right? And it's like us, right? All throughout time, because I kind of believe in a way every moment exists forever. It's somewhere in the space-time continuum,
time exists forever. Yeah. Well, we were actually talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Theseus.
It made me think of like the microcosm and macrocosm, and that is kind of how metaphysics works, right? It's like the image that they're projecting is almost like the universal laws, and then you can even cut that hologram up and it'll recreate itself and
little pieces, like little forms of itself. Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. And it's also like talking about how you have to have that movement, and then the substrate, it's like that's kind of how consciousness probably
Bingo.
works. There's the first principle, the fire, the active source, and then it just vibrates things into form that are
Hey,
in the image
Eros,
of.
It's
Eros,
creative.
have you ever have you ever played Fallout?
Yeah.
Okay, you know those suits that you climb into. You put the energy source into it, you climb in, and then you're walking around inside this energy suit, right?
Huh.
Is that what we are to the spirits? It's like, oh,
Yes.
here we go. We're getting another one. Get ready. And then they're just like
Headless.
ramming themselves inside this suit. And that's what we are, is we're walking around as
Dude.
these things.
Have you heard of people having NDEs and leaving their bodies in like hospitals or a certain? They'll look down and they'll go from their
Right.
like spirit POV. They're like, "What is this meat suit that's
Yeah,
on the
they're
ground?"
like,
It's
"I'm
on
not
like they
that."
don't recognize it. They're like, it's very interesting.
I think Monroe, who's the Monroe Institute, I think the reason this
Right.
all began was him having a spontaneous out of body experience, not
Yeah.
knowing anything, and this I believe came about because of that in a sense.
Wow.
This actually, yeah, talks about out of body experiences too, in such great depth. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did you guys finish? You did,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I finished. Well, no, am I still reading 14 or
It's
Well,
up to
no,
you. I can go. It's whatever you guys want to do.
you want to
Yeah,
read?
you wanna
You want to read? She can read. You can
yeah,
read.
read it.
there you go.
14. The consciousness matrix. The universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion. It is, in and of itself, one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity. According to the theories of Carl Pribram, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, and David Boehm, a physicist at the University of London, the human mind is also a hologram which attunes itself to the universal hologram by the medium of energy exchange, thereby deducing meaning and achieving the state which we call consciousness. With respect to states of expanded or altered consciousness, such as Gateway uses, the process operates in the following way. As energy passes through various aspects of the universal hologram and is perceived by the electrostatic fields which comprise the human mind, the holographic images being conveyed are projected upon those electrostatic fields of the mind and are perceived or understood to the extent that the electrostatic field is operating at a frequency and amplitude they can harmonize with and therefore read the energy carrier wave pattern passing through it. Changes in the frequency and amplitude of the electrostatic field, which comprises the human mind, determines the configuration and hence the character of the holographic energy matrix, which the mind projects to intercept meaning directly from the holographic transmissions of the universe. Then, to make sense of what the holographic image is saying to it, the mind proceeds to compare the image just received with itself. Specifically, it does this by comparing the image received with that part of its own hologram, which constitutes memory. By registering differences in geometric form and in energy frequency, the consciousness perceives, see Exhibit 2, as psychologist Keith Floyd puts it, contrary to what everyone knows is so, it may not be
The brain.
the brain that produces consciousness, but rather consciousness that creates the appearance of the brain. Oh, spot on.
That's
Spot
I
on.
like that.
I like that.
Bingo.
Spot on. If you tap into your consciousness enough, man, you can do anything. Like, especially with your own meat suit, as we just called it. And I love that this covers that, because my body has been healed in miraculous ways, and they don't want us to know that, though, right?
I think if you fuck with magic, you can actually better your health.
Yeah, and I think everything's magic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, like,
We talk
the
about
fact
that
that we
all the
exist
time.
and
Yeah.
that's magical, you know.
The y'all know this. The word magic and occult has been psyoped, right? It's been psy-slopped, as we like to call it on Grey Pilled.
Well, that's like
Psy-slopped.
the introduction to this that said something about the occult, right? And that this is kind of do you guys know what I'm talking about? The beginning of this document?
I do think. Did it mention something about the occult on the beginning of this?
Like the very beginning. Yeah. I
We
mean,
may not
essentially
have
this
read
is a
it,
scientific way of like modern terms of explaining,
We did
you
see
know, what the occult has, what our ancestors knew, what humanity is known to be true for
Right.
every age and timeline, right?
Yeah, the intro was all about that, but we just skipped it and got right into the text.
Oh.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what we do it on EBR too.
Do you guys do you know what a carrier frequency looks like?
No.
Mm-mm.
I know what a standing wave looks like, but I don't know what a carrier frequency.
Okay, I'm gonna
You
share
wanna pull
my
something up?
screen.
Is that the
Yeah.
moving frequency? Not the one that well, it was just saying that you know, the energy that moves and the energy that stands still. There's like some sort of a
Well,
difference in it, I guess.
This-
or-
these are just examples of
energy?
like a AM and an FM frequency. So basically, when
Can
you
zoom
have,
in?
Wow.
let me see, does that work?
So
Yeah,
AM and
yeah,
FM
it's good.
frequencies are
Yeah,
different,
perfect.
like AM and FM radio.
yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, so basically, to be able to send like a signal a far distance, you have to have a long, slower sine wave. And so if you have like faster information that you need to send on that sine wave, then you have to use a carrier. So that's what they do. I guess you can't really even
Hold on.
see that very
Go
well.
back to
Wow.
No, that was a pretty good example.
yeah. Hold on,
Yeah.
Eris. Let me
Yeah.
So basically, they're sending
calculate.
information on a longer wave, and then you have a receiver on the other side that can receive it and decode the information from it. It's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because,
look at that
we're
right
just
there.
Receivers of information.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like that's what
like-
they're indicating. Like we're sending, we can like receive information.
The
Yeah.
implication is that there's an off button because if we can be receiving this stuff, there could be an interference pattern that could turn us off. If you think about all the experiences with UFOs and all the rest of that, it's like they know the frequency to turn a person off. Maybe the military does too. Like I wouldn't put it past them if they're behind a lot of this stuff. So maybe there is an off frequency that they're kind of alluding to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if you tune in enough, like, I think sometimes he thinks I'm crazy. Like, because
I'm crazy.
I'll just have like, if I can't get someone off my mind, I'll call them and they're like, oh, I was just talking about you. And I'm like, I know. Like literally, like I know almost ever. Like I'll do little scientific experiments with it. I think it's like a trauma.
You're right. No,
response.
I've
become so tuned in.
I've encountered her doing this, and I've seen it happen in real time, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just a constant state of being now. But sometimes it's
There's
too
a
much
story that I'll
information.
tell on Esoteric Book Review tomorrow. Something that happened this week. It's wild, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I'm able to shut it off if I want to.
Really?
That's good, right? Like we should be able to
Yeah.
learn how to do that.
I feel like I can too. I feel like I've been able to kind of master like tuning out useless information. So for a while, my brain was like, I literally felt like I was hearing radio stations and stuff. Like it was just so much noise.
Well,
And now my mind is very quiet.
Speaking of radio stations,
it's very intentional, the information I receive.
Isaac Cappy, right? How did he die? Radio waves, these frequencies. So
Oh,
the
they'd
government
split them.
has been using, these frequencies to do nefarious things for a long time now, right? And so it's like, can they hijack these waves? If we don't shut them off, or if we don't
Well-
learn how to control them, or
Yeah.
That guy back in the 1950s had a brain controller array that he had on wires inside of a bull's head, and he took him into the arena and was able to shut down the bull. I forgot his name; it was like Rodrigo or something. But he went on to work for the CIA, and that was the first
funny, he chose a
brain
bull.
implant. Right?
Wow.
So-
Really?
He was a Spanish guy. Yeah, I forgot the name though. But yeah, he went straight into the CIA, and they've been working on brain chips since the 1950s, using that guy's model of controlled electrodes inside of the brain. There was a guy. The whole reason why we think of tinfoil hats is because one of these guys, the CIA was targeting, they actually put a chip inside of his head and was beaming information to it. Like this was a real operation that they did.
The Stimoceiver. It's Manuel Rodriguez Delgado. Was a pioneering Spanish neurophysiologist at Yale University, known for creating the first brain chip, the Stimoceiver, in the 1960s to remotely control brain activity. Yeah, the Stimoceiver and the bullfight, 1963.
Bingo!
Wow, yeah, man.
It just came out.
1963.
Is there footage of that?
Yeah. Yes, there is.
No
He
shit.
was like,
Watch that, Nick. Let's watch that at the end of the show.
Wow.
They
He's
put
like,
this in
"You're-
a guy's head. They put this in a guy's head, and then they started hitting him with these radio frequencies. And the only way he could get it to stop is by covering himself in a metal trash can. So every time you hear about this, tinfoil hat, and they're joking about, it's actually from a real case where they targeted a dude with a mental illness, put a chip inside of his head, and tried to make him kill himself.
Good Lord. Poor
How
guy.
many people had they done that to, though, dude? Because it's
Probably
not like,
millions.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
Yeah, I think they definitely have Skull to
dangerous.
they could definitely send waves to your skull. I think Steve, I think Planeteer is into that shit. The fuck is that guy again? Peter
We're gonna
Thiel.
be living in trash cans. Yeah, dude. We're living in
There's
trash cans.
definitely a lot of people that suggest it's happening to them for random reasons, not even necessarily government involved.
Voice to
There,
skull.
there also is the CIA just released anyway. They acquired
Guys.
it months ago that they acquired a machine that had Russian parts. They don't know if it's Russian, but it's the radio transmitter device that has been causing what they call Havana syndrome, which is essentially just like total distortion of their whole system. There's in meditation, there is the idea. It's interesting how it corresponds, that we can warm up and cool down. And if you do a series of movements or
Breathing.
even and yeah, exactly, just breathing and imagining that you're releasing in a cool down mode from top down, it actually is the process, and that's why it's called cool down. And warm up would be the opposite, of course. Imagine energy rising up and making movements in an upward from the bottom up.
That's what I do in the mornings when it's real cold and I'm in my bathroom, and I'll sit there and I'll do this breathing exercise, and I can feel this energy rising from my legs and my groin area, like warming my entire body. And I'm like, dude, can I do this like out in like the freezing cold? Yeah, you can work on doing stuff like that. People are like, you're retaining semen or some weird shit. Like, no, it's occult science of the body, and people aren't privy to it, so they interpret it as some weird Kundalini bullshit. You know what I mean? And even that itself is, distorted. Are you good? Sorry, guys.
Oscar the Grouch was predictive programming.
Oscar the Grouch was based, dude.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he was based.
Fuck, I was gonna say something. No, I forgot. Damn it.
I'm sorry, Nick.
This dude was like, never mind.
Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No. I just forgot. I guess I'm next to read too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Brain and phase. All right. The consciousness process is most easily I don't know that fucking word. Envisaged. If we picture the holographic input with a 3-dimensional grid system superimposed over it, such that all of the energy patterns contained within can be described in terms of 3-dimensional geometry, using mathematics to reduce the data to 2-dimensional form. Bentoff states that scientists suspect that the human mind operates on a simple binary go, no-go system, as do all digital computers.
Ooh, there was.
Therefore, once it superimposes a 3-dimensional matrix over holographic information it wishes to interpret and reduces that information mathematically to two-dimensional form, it can completely process it using its fundamental binary system, just as any computer made by the hand of man can process volumes of data and make various comparisons between the data and information stored in its digital memory. Our minds operate in the same way, perceiving by comparison only. Ventor states the proposition this way: our whole reality is constructed by constantly making such comparisons. Whenever we perceive something, we always perceive differences only. In states of expanded consciousness, the right hemisphere of the brain, in its holistic, nonlinear, and nonverbal mode of functioning, acts as the primary matrix or receptor for this holographic input, while, by operating in phase or coherence with the right brain, the left hemisphere provides the secondary matrix through its binary, computer-like method of functioning to screen further the data by comparison and reduce it to a discrete two-dimensional form. It's fucking crazy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
if I was gonna try and make that simpler, it's like these different nerve pathways are filtering out the data that you don't need and then putting it in a form that you can understand.
Yeah.
I think because that's exactly what Ashish was describing as well, is this exact same process. So basically there's limits to consciousness and how you can perceive things, and that's the filtering process.
The only thing I don't get with this, though, the one thing that I kind of like slightly disagree with this. I do think there is some sort of all right, like I guess growing up as a child and being born into this world, like I could see how like everybody telling me what is what, or the TV, the radio, my parents, like that's going to program me and then I'll determine 1, 0 or the yes or no. But like, how do I know, like when I go and stub my toe, how did I know how bad that hurt unless I decided how bad that hurt? Because I can't, you know, like certain things I think you have to, like, you're not going to be told everything, and you're going to experience something that hasn't been told to you, and you're going to have to interpret that and decide if that was good or bad or not yourself. So when does that come into this?
Right. But I think Ashish was saying like it's all in there pre-programmed, right? And so what this is saying is that somehow you're writing on the base programming, right? So it's not really either or. I think this one's sort of kind of like both and, you know? So there is sort of a free will read-write program going on with your body, for instance. So like you have the same amount or roughly the same amount of nerve endings between multiple different people. So you're going to have the same kind of reactions on some similar level.
Or it could also be like a dialectic kind of thing where it's like, that is what dialectic is. It's comparing things and then being like, oh, okay, that's blue and it's used for this purpose and it falls into this hierarchy, and you can make like a mental map of it almost.
Right. Well, that whole section was about brain dialectic, like going between the right and left. That was the brain dialectic that it's trying to produce this two-dimensional image for perception.
I would say like Plotinus, for example, he talks about dialectic, and then that we just kind of decide what's useful and what's not useful. So maybe
Either or.
that's where it comes into. I know I definitely throw a lot of information away because it's like, well, you know.
I could be wrong, but I think like there's even people, I think Plotinus might have been one of them, maybe even Empedocles. But I know even people like Ilan McGilchrist and other people like even do start to question, is there sort of relationship going on? Because like our eyes project out 6 feet. Is there some sort of relationship even going on with what's out there and our projection to even tell us how to perceive that or an influence? Is there multiple things that actually take up us deciding?
Yeah.
I mean, you also think about, I mean, just even the whole thing, a tweet, someone's tweet could mean so many things and stir up so many emotions in different people.
Oh yeah,
Same
thing with the meme.
Their own part of themselves is deciding that too, I think.
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's the same thing with a meme. Yeah.
This is why
Well, we-
Apollo is so interesting, because it's like all of these different things are different flavors of emotion, and they all sort of fall into similar categories, which can be mathematically analyzed, which kind of implies that it's kind of like a real kind of harp. Like you're playing society, like you're playing these different algorithms. And he was the god of mathematics and music, and he predicted things about society. So you've got all of the images about meme culture wrapped up in, one god, Apollo, and it's kind of changing the energy on the internet, for example. So
You can also think of it as almost like a video game map where it's like everybody has explored different parts of the map and has different parts of the map figured out, maybe, but it's also gets hard because I don't think not everybody is looking for the truth, and so then like what happens, because then it's not like we're even working with, like, ideally we are all navigating news, we're navigating like these objective truths, but that's not really the case. So like, what are people like plugging their own things into the map that don't fit? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, it's just, cognitive dissonance. People don't want to like face and things that, challenge what they believe to be true. And which is, they're doing themselves a disservice, right? Like I feel like the more truth that I uncover and kind of like accept within myself, it's every time it's like a little death, and you're reborn over and over and over and over again, right?
Yeah, purification
that's the initiation.
into truth.
Yeah, and people don't want that, and people have a
People
negativity
are scared
bias.
of it. Yeah. People fear what they don't know, and so so then they're not going to look into it because they're scared. So it's just like a vicious cycle.
And then they view that fear as like that their spirit is guiding them correctly.
Dicks
They don't
and
realize
demons, right, Nick?
they're
Dicks
not
and
aligned.
demons.
There you go.
properly. They don't realize they're not aligned properly. They're being guided by fear because our ancestors, in order to survive, that's why we have such a negativity bias, is because, and our ancestors, like, you might just die at any time, right? Like,
right.
safe for now.
They'll, right.
That's still a possibility, but
I even think about that, like when you just think about like how they lived back then. It's like they had to have lacked the fear of death, or just lacked
Right.
fear of itself in certain ways. To where it's just like,
it was like,
like
they're
no,
nervous.
this is what you did to stay alive. So it's like I wonder if sometimes it was just almost even just like that, no thought. I guess somewhat fear, but you know what I'm saying. But it was just like, well, this is what you have to do anyway.
right?
There's
Yeah,
no
I know what you're saying, because it's like people probably, they didn't
was in
have
the
as much
supermarket.
time to think.
Yeah.
So
It was-
busy surviving.
There's nobody like selling extra food. Like, you want to eat, you're gonna have to go out there and hope that motherfucker doesn't get you first.
Yeah. Well, and it's why a lot of people have anxiety disorders, is because their ancestors were, just survival mode all the time. Like, there might be a tiger around the corner. Like, you have to be on high alert all the time.
You better
Like,
ride that tiger.
Think about the insanity of war back then. You had to march right up into each other's faces and try and stab each other with sharp objects. That's an incredible
Hey,
amount.
Headless.
of
Two
force and
words.
blood.
Shield wall, dude.
Right.
Shield wall. Okay. That's all.
it
That's
is
all you
crazy to
need.
think about. But that's just what humanity has done for
Right.
since the beginning of time.
Oh,
Since
absolutely.
we had sharp objects.
It's like sharp
that.
objects. There's something threatening. We're gonna stab
And it's
it.
always out of some kind of fear. Sometimes justified, but a
Right.
lot of times not. Like, look at the Crusades. Like,
Well, a lot of people hit those
Get headless started
battlefields
on
for
the
a lot of different
crusade.
reasons.
I
What's
wonder what the
I said,
first
don't get headless
murder
started
was.
on the Crusades.
Right.
Sorry,
you-
Eros. Sorry.
I wonder what the first murder was. Like, is it just in our inherent nature that we would think to do that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've
That's-
wondered about that too, right? It was
I don't think it's in our nature. I think it's darker aspects of.
I have actually
There
thought
are-
Well,
there are
I-
I will say this: in the story of Cain and Abel, even in the Sumerian in that mythology, Enki refers to it as and he, that he's the God of water, God of form, creation, the Lord of form, right? But he referred to it as the curse of Cain. I mean Cain, but it was Ka-in was his name, I
The
guess,
first murder.
in Assyria. Well, that's
Of that,
in the ethos of,
right? Yeah.
but maybe not. Who knows if there was some
Or-
guy named Grug or something who stabbed his boy Heb in the arm and then like threw him off a mountain. It was like, or
what we see,
like
what we see in the
12
mythology,
million years ago.
what we see in the mythology over and over again is that the father gets old and crazy and starts trying to kill his young children. Right. That's what we see all throughout all of these different societies.
Really?
Is this? Yeah, that's the Kronos figure. Right. It's always constantly trying to eat his own
Devouring
kids.
father. The
Fascinating.
devouring
Yeah.
father. There's the devouring mother archetype, right?
There's
but
the
then
tyrannical father
the-
and the devourer.
but Kronos
those are
devours
Yahweh's
his children, Saturn, Kronos, but
Wow.
There are examples of a couple of Native American tribes who were so peaceful that they died of fright when they first interacted with the U.S. military. The Pomo, the Pomo, in particular, of Northern California, were super peaceful people. And they, a reason more than likely they were so peaceful and confounded by violence, they didn't even recognize it. Not to say that all Native American culture had this, but the Pomo were so peaceful, I think, in part because their resources there were so plentiful. It never even occurred to them to fight. And I guess they have a measurement about indigenous hours per day to obtain nutrients, and that they must work to get their basics provided for. And the Pomo region was among the shortest amount of time, like an hour or two a day, and they had all their needs taken care of. So I don't know where the first murder was, but definitely it was likely due to restriction of resources and pursuit of resources for one man or another.
Wow, that's fascinating and also very sad. They were having a heavenly
Extremely.
human experience.
All right. Let me 16 evaluation. To the extent that Gateway succeeds in bringing about a refinement and energy matrix of the mind, it succeeds in expanding or altering human consciousness so that it can perceive without recourse to the intercession of the physical senses, such that ever more of the universal hologram, not of course accessible by sense perception, can ultimately be perceived and understood. Marilyn Ferguson has written that the theories of Pribram and Bohm appear to account for all transcendental experience, paranormal events, and even normal perceptual oddities. She even goes on to say of Pribram, currently he is proposing startling, all-encompassing model that is generally considerable, exciting among those intrigued by the mysteries of human consciousness. His holographic model marries brain research to theoretical physics and accounts for normal perception and simultaneously takes the paranormal and transcendental experiences out of supernatural by explaining them as part of nature. Like certain strange discoveries of quantum physics, the radical rhetorician of this theory suddenly makes sense of paradoxical sayings of mystics throughout the ages. 17.
Yeah.
This is back to Eros, right?
I think I should go.
Sincere. I'm dude.
Don't be sorry. Don't trip. Does anyone else have anything to say about that, or should I just get going?
Let's ramp it up. I
Run
like
it.
it. The energy's high.
17, right?
Yes.
Self-cognition. To complete our outline of the process by which the mind achieves and exercises consciousness, we must also describe the mechanism which accounts for the aspect of human thought that differentiates it from consciousness of planets or animals, i.e., self-cognition. Humans not only know, but they know that they know. Oh, wow. They are able to monitor the process of their own thinking and maintain an awareness of it. Moreover, they can conduct a comparative. Okay, so now we're into this image here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is astounding. Among the thing that strikes me is the verticality potentially in individual consciousness and the horizontal aspect of collective consciousness or animals and other people and so forth, but not that's necessarily depicting that. Should I keep reading? Left hemisphere consciousness grid acts like the mind's computer software to reduce input from right hemisphere to verbal symbols and concepts. Right hemisphere consciousness grid reduces three-dimensional holographic image to two-dimensional go/no go for, I believe it's cut off a little bit there, forgive me. So continuing from the prior page, moreover, they can conduct a comparative assessment evaluating the function of their thought process against various objective standards they have adopted. Human consciousness can do this because it has the capacity to duplicate aspects of its own hologram, project them out, perceive that projection, put it through comparison with the memory aspect where its evaluation standards or standards of measure are stored, of its hologram, and measure or sense the differences using three-dimensional geometry, and then binary go/no-go pulse to yield verbal cognition about the self.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that like talking about mirroring in other people, or
No, I think they were going over the programming of the brain. Like that was just exactly how it goes, step by step, how the brain is programmed.
But being able to project just parts of
Are we down here? Or
your hologram out.
right here?
Yeah.
Where?
There you go.
I don't know. Hold on.
Interesting. Oh, I guess I'm the next to read, but did you pull something up, Headless?
Yeah, Headless, you got some.
Isn't this? No. I just accidentally went back. I didn't mean to do that. I was just, yeah. I just
This
got
makes
lost.
me think about like your light body. And like when I'm around certain people that are highly activated and very aligned with the light that is the spark of God. Something I found very profound in here where it talks about when your brainwaves change and like your left leg starts to tingle and all of this stuff. I've experienced that just from being around certain people. And anyways, I kind of ADD'd out on part of this. I read it earlier, but yeah, it's just fascinating. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no,
Yeah, I was just
do
reading.
not
it.
apologize.
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's up to me.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, time, space, dimension.
Fuck.
Up to this point, our discussion of the gateway process has been relatively simple and easy to follow. Now the fun begins. Gateway involves more than just perception of those aspects of the universal hologram which can be accessed in the dimension of time-space as we know it. To explain how and why human consciousness can be brought to transcend the limitations of time-space is the next task which must be addressed. To do this, we must first appreciate what time and space are in order to understand how the dimension that they contribute or that they constitute can be transcended. Physicists define time as a measurement of energy or force in motion. In other words, it is a measurement of change. However, in order for energy to be in motion, it must first be limited in some way, with the confines of some sort of vibratory pattern, so that its confinement gives it the capacity for being contained at a specific location which is distinguishable from other locations. Space. Energy which is not confined is force without limit, without dimension, without the limits of form. It is infinity, cannot move because there is nothing beyond infinity, and is therefore outside of the dimension of time. It is also beyond space because that concept implies that a specific energy form is limited to a specific location and is absent from other locations. But if energy is in the state of infinity, there are no boundaries, no here to differentiate from there, no sense of area. Energy in infinity means energy uniformly extended without limit. It has no beginning, no end, no location. It is conscious force, the fundamental primal power of existence without form, a state of infinite being. Energy in infinity is said to be completely at rest and therefore cannot generate holograms so long as it remains utterly inactive. It retains its inherent capacity for consciousness in that it can receive and passively perceive holograms generated by energy and motion out in the various dimensions which make up the created universe, but it cannot be perceived by consciousness operating in the active universe. Energy in this state of inactive infinity is termed by physicists as energy in its absolute state, or simply the absolute. Between the absolute and the material universe in which we experience our physical existence are various intervening dimensions to which human consciousness and altered states of being may gain access. Theoretically, human consciousness may continue to expand the horizons of its perceptual capability until it reaches the dimension of the absolute, at which point perception stops because the absolute generates no holograms of or about itself.
Holy fuck. What a hard burner. That was wild.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Jules?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can. Here, I'm going to pull this up on a. I have it pulled up right here, so it's larger.
That's what I did. It's easy for me.
Intervening dimensions. Since the absolute is conscious energy in infinity. Okay. Since the absolute is conscious energy in infinity, i.e., without boundaries, it occupies every dimension to include the time-space dimension in which we have our physical existence, but we cannot perceive it. It overlays everything, as do many of the intervening gradients or dimensions through which the energies of the universe pass on their way to and from their home in the state of infinity, the absolute. To enter these intervening dimensions, human consciousness must focus with such intense coherence that the frequency of the energy pattern which comprises that consciousness, i.e., the brainwave output, can accelerate to the point where the resulting frequency pattern, if displayed on an oscilloscope, I'm thinking of like a
That was an animal.
antelope or something. Yeah. On an
No, I
oscilloscope.
think Frankenstein.
Would look virtually like a solid line. Achievement of this state of altered consciousness sets the stage for perception of non-time space dimensions because of the operation of a principle in physics known as Planck's distance.
Not to disrupt, but
Damn.
an oscilloscope measures voltage over time.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Achievement of this state of altered consciousness sets the stage for perception of non-time space dimensions. Shit.
Yeah.
So you know about Planck's length? And
No. Spits. Well, because I'm still reading here in a minute, but spit some game.
Yeah. So that was a guy named Nassim Haramein. And Haramein kept talking about how Planck's length proves that there's almost infinite amounts of energy in the universe. And so he says that happens because we actually exist on a different dimensional level on the inside of a black hole. So all of the time space energy around us is actually infinitesimally small, being interpenetrated by this sort of force field that gives us the ability to see things, right? So it's a dimension inside of a dimension. That's what Nassim Haramein was saying about our reality. And so that's what they're kind of talking about with this Planck's length, which is way higher energy output than is supposed to happen. And so this is, I guess, an alternative theory of why Planck's length is the way it is.
I got you. All right, I'm going to read. So this is an aspect of quantum mechanics which applies to the fact that any oscillating frequency, such as a brainwave, reaches 2 points of complete rest, which constitute the boundaries of each individual oscillation, i.e., movement up or down. Without these points of rest, an oscillating wave pattern would be impossible, since the points of rest are required to permit the energy to change direction and thus continue vibrating between rigid limits. But it is also true that when, for an infinitesimally, fuck, man, is that how you say that? Infinitesimally? An infinitesimally brief instant. I don't think I've ever even said that word before. That energy reaches one of its 2 points of rest. It clicks out of time space and joins infinity. That critical step out of time space occurs when the speed of the oscillation drops below 10 to the negative 33rd degree. Centimeters. We're not going to ignore the 33 guys. Illuminati confirm.
Bingo.
We're all Jesuits. Per second. To use the words of Bentov, quantum mechanics tell us that when distances go below Planck's distance, which is 10 to the negative 33rd degree centimeter, we enter, in effect, a new world.
Bingo.
I'm so sorry, Jules, but it's 10 to the negative 33rd power.
33rd power. Okay. Thank you.
That makes it better.
Like 33 squared.
I love it.
I just said to the degree. I don't know. To return to our case in point, the human consciousness wave pattern reaches such high frequency that the pattern of clickouts comes so close together that there is virtual continuity in it. Then a portion of that consciousness is actually postulated to establish and maintain its information collection function in those dimensions located between time, space, and the absolute. Holy shit. Thus, as the almost continuous click-out pattern establishes itself in continuous phase at speeds below Planck's distance, but before reaching the state of total rest, human consciousness passes through the looking glass of time-space after the fashion of Alice beginning her journey into Wonderland.
Crossing the abyss. There you go, Nick.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what the click out is. For sure.
The gateway experience, with its associated hemisync technique, is apparently designed, if used systematically and patiently, to enable human consciousness to establish a coherent pattern of perception in those dimensions where speeds below Planck's distance apply. This holds true irrespective of whether the individual is exercising his consciousness while in his physical body, or whether he is doing so after having separated that consciousness from the physical body, i.e., the so-called out-of-body state mentioned earlier. Interesting.
Whoa.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This just makes me think of, after my dad died, one of the dreams that he visited me in that was a very vivid and real dream where his spirit was actually there.
Mhm.
He was it was so funny because it was so his personality too, where he was like, come on, like, let me show you what I can do. And he was showing me that he could time travel. And he was showing me that he could go into basically every memory of his life, every moment of his life, he could go back and revisit it. And he could appear to me in any form that he has ever existed in. It just made me think of that. And then the absolute makes me think of, I used to be obsessed with studying near-death experiences and people that talk about just becoming, one with the light, right? Anyways, that was my take on it.
Oh, yeah, that's like that near-death experience is that crossover, that initiation into
that
Yeah,
full
I think so.
just get
that
to the
alignment.
infinite
Yeah,
light.
yeah, yeah. And people, yeah, some people like, I mean, you have people that will,
And they
do
don't
stuff
want to
like
leave
that.
the light. They are one with the light in there.
Forced initiation.
God, and they
Huh?
are at
Self-initiated. Yes. you
Yeah.
self-initiate yourself.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do it, but when you don't, what happens when you don't acknowledge that, though? Right? I mean,
You may not even know what you're doing. You may not even realize you're doing that to yourself.
right.
Right.
That's why I think it's important to talk about this stuff, man. Definitely. Do you want to read?
No, I've had a few beers, so
Oh, okay. All right, I got it.
Hold on. I have a.
don't have my kids.
I have
tonight, so. I'm not gonna read because I mean I can still read fine, but I'd rather you guys read.
You're great.
Oh, that's
You're
cool.
beautiful.
Cool.
And they loved your voice when you did read. So,
Well, thank you.
You finished or no?
yes, I am finished. Well, was I? I'm pretty sure I was.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
We're at 20 subatomic particles.
Yes.
You need a jacket.
The behavior of subatomic particles provides an interesting example of the phenomena of clicking out discussed in the preceding paragraphs. In an article prepared for Science Digest magazine, Dr. John Gleidman mentions the way in which subatomic particles communicate with each other once their energy fields become entrained as a result of colliding with each other. The communication concerned is, of course, postulated to be occurring during the click-out phase, in the oscillation of the energy fields comprising the subatomic particles concerned. It is this cause which accounts for the cross-communication at which, in terms of time and space velocities, would seem to involve speeds in excess of light. In reality, Einstein's theory of relativity is not being invalidated, but rather the communication concerned is taking place outside the dimension of time-space to which the theory of relativity is strictly confined. Specifically, Dr. Gleidman tells us quantum theory postulates a kind of long-range Siamese twin effect whenever two subatomic particles collide and then go their different ways. Even when the particles are halfway across the universe from each other, it says they instantaneously respond to each other's actions. And in doing so, they violate relativity's ban on faster than light velocities. Indeed,
Quantum
regarding it,
entanglement.
say that again?
Quantum entanglement. They didn't say what it was called. They just called it a twin effect, but it's quantum entanglement.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, regarding attempts to quantify what is known about the behavior of energy in dimensions apparently outside of time and space, Bentov speaks about courageous physicists who are working on hypothetical particles called tachyons, something close to that, which can move at speeds higher than light. The speed of tachyons start just above the speed of light and ranges all the way to infinite velocities.
If that makes
Interesting.
any sense. Infinite velocities faster than the speed of light. All
No, but
right.
I
21.
do think, just real quick, just from my experiences, I do think that like when you do click out, I don't think the laws here apply. Anyway.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, there's so many different examples of that. Like when we're looking inside, right, something is happening. You're creating something. What are thoughts made out of? And what they're saying here is that it's all holograms. Well, if your thoughts are holograms and reality is a hologram, what's the connection between the thoughts and reality? And I think he's just about to get into that.
You know, it's really interesting if you think about the whole relationship between the magician and the holy guardian angel. Very much almost right here, too.
Right?
Plus, what is that a hologram of? Right? It has to be reflecting off of something. I don't know.
Well, it makes me think too of the past kind of analogy where they talked about the hologram, even if it's broken up into numerous other pieces, it still has the same holographic material or picture. And it makes me think about how if it's like the butterfly effect, except with psychic light. And if you can like impact one tachyon or particle or light idea, it's like, can you not cause a butterfly effect just by way of light? Just having the hologram as the idea or the capacity of the universe to do a thing, and then, you know, breaking that up into a particle and manifesting it. It's out there, I know.
Oh.
Also, you know, this line below reminds me of the AM and FM modulation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm just about to. Yeah.
Real quick, I don't always think about the Tree of Life, but when I'm on the Occult Reject, I do. What if we turn that 90 degrees?
Oh, yeah, right.
We can see it kind of like becoming a pattern of transcend or going up, or maybe moving anyway. And I believe it was the AM that it almost looked like an hourglass. And it
Like
almost
Hmm.
sorry, what?
like DNA almost. I have a picture from a scope that looked just like DNA. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Is that
And
shit-
You know what this is?
Buildings.
No, what is that?
That is the wave particle oscillogram of the hydrogen atom. So this is what the hydrogen atom looks like under an oscilloscope. So I think that's what it's called. So what you're seeing there is that wave pattern again, like that's the fundamental pathway between all of this stuff is the wave pattern. So as they're describing a hologram, remember it's just vibrations put into form, I guess. That's all it shows. The deeper it gets, the CIA nailed this one, I think.
Tesla nailed it.
That's
Right?
beautiful.
That's why they killed him.
I have to show you guys oscilloscope music after this because they use music to create images. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
So 21, dimensions in between. Now that we have postulated the legitimacy of the assertion that the energy forms which compose consciousness can move beyond the space-time dimensions, we need to turn our attention to the energy forms which the absolute in infinity. So clicked out portion up here of the oscillating energy transversing interdimensional dimensions, right? So this is like the different waves in consciousness, I think. And so there's a little portion on either side of, I guess, the delta. I don't know what frequencies, but I guess they're saying that there's a way of hopping out of interdimensional space in these portions. Interesting. Planck's distance is 10 to the negative 33rd centimeters squared.
Ooh, where do we see 10 at, dude?
Right there.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, you know, you see
1033.
10 used in a lot in the Kabbalah, right?
Right.
The number of perfection. So
It's the base 10 and 33. You can't get much more occult than that, you know?
Right,
it's
right,
the Kabbalah. Right. It's crazy. Anyways, inhabit those dimensions between time, space, and the absolute In so doing, we may better perceive the form that reality assumes when we encounter it in those intermediate dimensions. In this context, Bentov tells us that the casual relationship between events breaks down, movements become jerky rather than smooth. Time, I don't know if you guys have ever had that experience while meditating when everything around you starts to get really lapsy. It's crazy. Time and space may become grainy or chunky. Perhaps a piece of space can be traversed by a particle of matter in any direction without necessarily being syncretized with a piece of time. In short, a pair of events will occur in either time or space, the pair not being connected causally, but with random fluctuation. What Bentov means is that inside the dimension of space-time, where both concepts apply in generally uniform way, there is a proportional relationship between them. A certain space can be covered by energy moving in either particle or wave form in a certain time, assuming a specific velocity virtually anywhere in the space-time universe. The relationship is neat and predictable. However, in the intermediate dimensions beyond space-time, limitations imposed on energy to put it into a state of oscillating motion are not uniform as they are in our physical universe. A myriad of various distortions and incongruities are thus likely to be encountered, such that our nice, neat assumptions concerning the relationship between time and space as we know it in this dimension do not apply. But even more important, access is open to both the past and the future when the dimension of current space-time is left behind. That's a pretty big assumption.
Yeah.
I was with him until that last part.
Shall I read?
Yeah,
Yes,
go for it, son. If you want
Do you
to.
guys mind if I share this video real quick?
No, please.
No,
go for
Eros,
it.
you can't.
Please do.
No, get
Sorry.
out.
You know, of course you can.
Okay,
Well,
let me-
normally I actually do worry about that shit. So I mean, you really shouldn't just say yes.
Oh, well,
Yeah, be careful.
what? Where's the video?
I just don't feel like telling everybody no tonight. So yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so can you see us?
Hold on, I got it.
Okay.
It's an oscilloscope
Video.
So this is an
for your intro.
used to measure electrical current. And I've got two probes, both of them which come out and run straight into an auxiliary jack plugged into my computer. Now, this oscilloscope is wired up so that the x-axis is controlled by this probe and the y-axis is controlled by this probe, which means that when I play audio through it, the left channel is going to go x and the right channel is going to go y. Now, you'll see how this is represented in 1 second when I start the show. Okay, let's turn the intensity down so it looks nice. And then let's start the show. The volume a little bit and
Hey
go.
guys, I want to show you something amazing. I'm running an audio signal through an oscilloscope. We can see exactly the same waves that we're hearing at the same time.
So you can see I'm not quite synced
channels,
up. So let's set up a
and
trace.
use them to draw with sound.
Oh, yo,
Oh
yeah,
shit!
God's in the morning wood.
Oh, no.
That was God's in the morning wood, man.
So an oscilloscope is, like I said, an old tool used to measure electrical.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyway. It's kinda cool.
I mean, there's a
You can-
bunch of native tribes that
I
even
would
say
love-
that the earth was created in song. You know,
Right.
No, I believe that.
the Aborigines say 3 songs. The earth was created in 3 songs.
I would love to see that thing
But, you know.
when I'm like in like very powerful prayer. I would love to see what it looks like.
Yeah, with the waveform.
Especially if someone's
eat some
fucking
mushrooms
with
and
me. Sorry, never
look
mind.
at it or something. I don't
And
know.
I'm dealing with it.
I had-
Yeah, it's cool because it's measuring voltage. So it's literally just displaying voltage on the screen and it's
Is that the same as like when computers first came out and people would play music on a computer, and it would, like, you could, it would do the, you guys know what I'm talking about.
What are you
Well,
talking
it
about?
is analog.
The what was it called? The media player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of similar?
That's the sound wave.
Yeah, probably similar.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing.
My brother always had that going on.
My
he
dad
built
used to have
computers
that
and stuff.
on his computer all the time. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They should bring those back.
So interesting. Yeah.
All right, so
Okay, it's my turn now. Okay,
I think it's my turn.
it's your turn, Ethan. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Special status out of body experience. Although human consciousness can, with enough practice, move beyond the dimension of time space and interface with other energy systems in other dimensions, the entire process is appreciably enhanced if the consciousness can be detached in large measure from the physical body before such interface is attempted. Once an individual becomes proficient in the technique of out-of-body movement and then reaches the point where he is able to break out of time-space while out of his body, he gains the advantage of clicking out. Part of his enhanced consciousness, while starting from a base located much closer to the dimensions with which he wishes to communicate. In other words, since he is starting from a point much higher up, to use an analogy from the time-space context, that part of his consciousness involved in clicking out will have that much more time to interact in dimensions beyond time-space, because less time is required to traverse the intervening layers. Moreover, once the individual is able to project his consciousness beyond time-space, that consciousness would logically tend to entrain its frequency output with the new energy environment to which it is exposed, therein greatly enhancing the extent to which the individual's altered consciousness may be further modified to achieve a much heightened point of focus and a much refined oscillating pattern. As a result, a self-reinforcing process should ensue whereby the farther consciousness in an out-of-body state can be projected beyond the time-space dimension. The more its level of energy output would be enhanced, thus promoting the potential for still further travel. The tentative conclusion to be drawn is that out-of-body state may be regarded as an extremely effective way of accelerating the process of enhancing consciousness and of interfacing with dimensions beyond time-space. If the practitioner of the gateway technique has a choice of concentrating on achieving and exploiting the out-of-body experience, as opposed to concentrating his full efforts on expanding his consciousness exclusively from a physical base, the former would appear to promise much faster and more impressive successes than does the latter.
That did not play out in reality. They were not right about that. A lot of the out-of-body stuff that they tried to push didn't really play out at all. So, what they had far more success with was the remote viewing protocols, which were not part of the
Oh, wait, really?
gateway process. Yeah.
And what the out of body kind of even disturbed people and turned them off, with not only had poor results, right?
Oh,
Yeah, in a lot of cases. It took up way more energy and was not as effective.
wow. Very interesting. Yeah, this is all really, really profound. What would you consider out of body experience astral projecting, or would you consider remote viewing in a way astral? Because I feel like
I think they're highly related. It's,
yeah.
I think one, yeah, you're projecting more of yourself into the environment than you really even need. It's like
astral projecting, right? I agree. That's why I haven't even, well, I used to try and I'd get to the point where it almost happened and I'd get super freaked out, but I don't feel like it's necessary. If I really need, if I need to know what's going on with something or whatever, I can access it through meditation. So that's just, I hadn't heard that before. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's really interesting that they discovered that it's not even necessary.
It's amazing how they describe this, this really powerful series of consciousness powers, if you will, in such a mechanical way. And to that, like the Tibetans and probably the Hindus too, talk about siddhis, SIDHIS, and these are actually just side effects of meditation. These psychic powers, I think it might be the best way to interpret siddhis. And they say,
What are they called, Ethan?
SIDHIS, a sid or HI, a siddhi. Like it sounds like city, but a city.
Right.
And these are, effects of meditation pursuits and enlightenment practices.
spiritual powers.
Spiritual powers, psychic powers that they say don't pursue, or they'll kind of, almost like Headless, like you were talking about how the out of body experience was actually less fruitful and maybe even what I saw potentially more upsetting even. And in that respect of the cities, often people, when they pursue them, they're not actually prepared for them. Is like the warning of the Tibetan meditation process, that you want to just do the work and those things kind of come up and you can, not obsess over them, kind of thing.
Right.
Can you say it one more time, because Jules is trying to type it in? Can you spell it one more time?
SIDHI, psychic power, and then S is just the multiple.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things I found so profound when I was, sorry, I keep like ADDing out, but when I was reading this earlier is, I think that I unlocked so much of this like accidentally. Intentionally, but also I shared with you guys that my dad was randomly unalived.
I've told them.
I don't want to say the word and mess up whatever. Anyways, and so I think that so much of this just out of pure like willpower, I just, it's so fascinating reading it and understanding the science behind things that I unlocked. If that makes sense. It makes me understand a lot of the experiences that I've had. Because I have a very scientific mind, and I don't know. This is just fascinating to me.
Well, yeah, no, I had sent this to her earlier today, and by the time I called her, like right when I got off work, she's like, "Yeah, I already read through most of it," and yeah, a lot of it is, she said, is just stuff that she's caught here and there over the years that we've kind of been, I guess, fed through information and whatnot, or people putting out, TikToks or a video of their theory.
Well, I had read some of this years ago.
That too, reading
but
it.
Bits. I mean, I don't have a lot of free time to read. But I think it's, I don't know, it's just so interesting. Like it's all intention, right? I mean, like somebody can give you a blueprint and say, follow this protocol, do it in this way. And maybe that's good, right? That's why these ancient traditions and religions still exist, because you don't want to just open yourself up spiritually. You don't, there's a lot there, right? You can open yourself up too much and get a lot of information that isn't even coming from you, and you won't realize it's not coming from you, and you don't know where it's coming from, and you're not powerful enough yet. And for me, it's rooted in my relationship with God. But if you're not tapped into that enough yet, then you can't kind of block that out. Like Eros was saying earlier, like, what did you say earlier, Eros? You were saying like you can.
Oh, that I feel like I can shut off receiving
Right. Yeah.
frequency or vibe, like emotions from other people or whatever.
Yeah. And then Ethan, what you were just saying a second ago. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I shouldn't have drank 3 beers.
You're okay.
Sorry.
No, you're
you
fine.
can continue. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Well, I think receiving downloads and stuff. I mean,
Oh, I remember now. You
Yeah.
were saying, Ethan, we were talking about with astral projection and headless. You were saying like that, it's not necessary. It like uses all this energy that it's not even actually necessary. And I think that's why, like, whenever I was intrigued many years ago, when I was intrigued by things like astral projections, that thing in my spirit was just like, no. Because I do
people
think it
aren't
can
ready
be
for
true.
it.
Yeah, I think
And
it can be completely dangerous.
It's the same with certain knowledge and stuff. If you receive it through some kind of divination, or you receive it through a vision divinely, or somehow, like, how will you handle that knowledge? And if that's forced upon someone through a certain practice or something they can do, with their mental, I don't know, like, is that the best thing? Like, should that information be available to everyone? Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so, because I don't think that everyone can harness it.
Well, some people, and maybe
I mean, they
maybe
can
even the
force-
ones that would misuse it, probably maybe not even even
Yeah, because I think maybe it's being misused on a grand scale.
I don't
They're
think they
black
understand
magic,
it. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
against
yeah.
all of us.
Right.
But I think on a personal level, I don't know. I think sometimes people will get really intrigued and want to play around with things, and if they're not ready for it, there's a ceiling to it.
Oh,
if
yeah,
that makes
absolutely.
sense.
I think the idea of this stuff needs to be a little bit more realistic. Like you're
Right.
saying, I don't think people understand. Like some people aren't ready for this shit. So
Yeah.
maybe it should be known that, like, a little bit
Yeah.
more. Maybe
Yeah.
some of the secrets, shouldn't be secrets, so then people understand what they're really getting into. What is it really about?
Bingo.
Yeah.
And then you know what? When there's more assholes being, assholes to people, and people understand what it is they're getting into, I mean, and understand what the benefits are. I mean, you never know. I mean, you might have more people being willing to go that distance to change their life for themselves too. So I think they keep it secret because of that as well. If you knew that there was a way of you being able to actually kind of obtain the same thing, we can't have that.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, dude. And that's why seeking out this knowledge is I think very important. But when they put out stuff like this, when there's these these files that drop, you find all sorts of stuff that you find out, like, oh wow, yeah, I was looking into this years ago, vindicated, confirmed, all that stuff. So but are they feeding us the complete truth, or is there something to it, do you think, coming from them?
Well, and
I think what they're
sorry.
I think they're just repackaging all of this other stuff that all these other people have worked on,
Right.
for hundreds of years into one solid source, and they're doing so without giving any attributions to any of the people they took it from. So I've seen so many different people's work reflected in what they're saying right now. but
Exactly. Yeah.
They just didn't list them.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks, man.
Huh. So
All
I
right.
think Eros, I think it's your turn, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. It may be helpful at this point to pause and recap the major aspects of our intellectual journey from time-space to the realm of the absolute. We have spoken at some length concerning the incredibly complex hologram, which is created by the intersection of energy patterns generated by the totality of all dimensions of the universe, time-space included. We have noted that our minds constitute energy fields which interact with various aspects of this hologram to deduce information which is ultimately processed through the left hemisphere of our brains to reduce it to a form that we employ for the process we call thinking. We have implied that this hologram is the finite embodiment in active energy form of the infinite consciousness of the absolute. It is the title we assign to that vast pool of energy in a state of perfect rest over which the physical universe is layered, and from whence it comes. Incidentally, to describe this, Bentov uses the analogy of a very deep sea, comparing the still depths of the sea to the dimension of the absolute, while assigning this storm-tossed waves above to represent the physical universe with which we are familiar. The slightly agitated currents of the sea to be found in between the turbulent surface and the totally still depths represent energy in the process of either going into rest, i.e. approaching infinity, or coming out of rest.
Damn.
Wow.
You want me to read? All right. From Big Bang to Taurus. Eris, are you sure you don't want to read this one too? I don't know. You've been talking about Taurus some.
I'm actually painting a picture of a Taurus right now.
Yeah,
Funny.
listen.
Would you look at that? Buy Headless's paintings, guys. Offer him
This is spelled different.
money.
Right?
Throw money.
Obviously, money.
No, you can go ahead, Jules.
Offer him services and just kidding. Don't do that. We'll buy his paintings. Do that. Support our boy, Headless Giant. I'm gonna get those. I gotta get the rest of your. You have a Patreon, right? You're on Patreon.
No.
Motherfucker, we got to start you a Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing it. Okay, so. Okay,
All right.
I'm trying to find the tab. Do you want to read, baby? Here.
I can read.
No, she can read.
All right.
From Big Bang to Taurus. Working from the widely accepted Big Bang theory, Bentov presents a conceptual model to depict the process of time-space evolution. I don't need you to do that. That's okay,
I'm
Jules.
sorry.
Sorry.
I was trying to highlight it for her,
okay.
but I was just
Depict the process. My contacts. Hold on. Process of time-space evolution. The relative position of the universal hologram. That hologram is often called a torus because it is thought to have the overall shape of an immense self-contained spiral. Basing his thesis on recent studies concerning the distribution of quasi-stellar, can you stop? Quasi-stellar objects, and operating on the premise that in the universe, smaller processes tend to be mirror images of larger ones. Example, the pattern of electrons around the nucleus of an atom mirrors the way planets orbit their suns, and so on.
That's the microcosm, macrocosm that Eros was talking about earlier.
Bingo.
Bentov postulates the following scenario. Taking his cue from the observed capability of quasars to eject enormously concentrated beams of matter from their interiors in a controlled non-concentric version of the Big Bang. Sorry, my contacts are dry, you guys. He envisages a similar process occurring in the generation of the universe. See Exhibit 4, next page. Noting that those galaxies located to the north of our own galaxy are moving away faster than those located to the south, and that those to the east and west are demonstrably more distant, Bentov regards this as substantive evidence that the jet of matter which expanded into our universe has turned back upon itself, eventually forming an ovid or egg shape. He sees matter in our universe entering the ovoid pattern following ejection from a nucleus composed of extremely compressed energy through a white hole. At the end of its trip to the far end of the ovoid, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Ovoid.
The
Okay.
ovoid, the ovoid.
He sees it departing via a black hole. In such a model, time is observed to be a measure of the change which occurs as energy evolves into new, more complex forms as it progresses along the distance from the white hole side of the nucleus around the shell of this cosmic egg until it enters the black hole. In other words, as energy expelled from infinity and confined within limits by the conscious of the absolute achieves form and motion following ejection from the white hole at the top of the egg, time begins as a measure of the cadence of this evolutionary movement as reality goes around the shell of the egg on its journey back to the black hole at the far end. Okay, can I just say really quickly, I feel like this just covered so many different concepts and so many different religions. And
Yeah,
also
the
this
Orphic
is-
egg, Eros. Yeah.
And this is why
Yeah.
Steiner is my
time.
favorite like philosopher, is he includes all of this about evolution, right?
Yeah, totally the Orphic egg, and it makes me think of the north node and south node.
Yep.
The Chinese have the egg too, and so did the Egyptians.
The
and
egg is everything, dude. Even in
Yeah.
alchemy, you know.
How did they know?
Substance, the
I know how they knew.
Different
I know how they
alchemists
knew.
say.
How do
right?
they know?
I know how because they were holograms of the original process. Of course, they knew they were part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because God, right?
Mic drop.
God will reach anybody, anywhere if they.
Mic drop.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I guess the egg came first, then Stu of mine.
The egg always comes,
I answered
dude.
it.
Okay, not always, but in this case, I was talking to Headless about that. I was like, yeah, the primordial egg comes first, right, or the Orphic egg, but
right.
Some people are making claims right now about eggs coming before chickens, and that's silly.
That's
Well,
why
think
in
about
DNA tests they can trace back to a mother.
Right.
It always goes back to the mother. The mother has
Mitochondria.
It's the priestess chicken. That's another EBR theme, guys. We're gonna have a priestess chicken with a Freya
Chicken head.
sigil on her. She's gonna be one of the Orlinda priestesses, I guess, and we'll do like maybe a Robin Hood. The this is silly, but the Disney
getting
movie
furry.
Robin Hood. There is a little nun who is the chicken. I don't know. I'm just thinking of stuff, maybe, guys. We'll do the little chicken nun from Robin Hood with the Freya sigil on her from the Orlinda cover.
Well, we could
Yeah.
look at the Hermetic god, the chicken-headed, snake-footed god. What is his name again?
Abraxas, dude.
Abraxas.
Yeah, Abraxas.
He's like the son of
Xavier,
the
Renegade Angel. Have y'all ever watched Adult Swim before? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
It's a show called Xavier, Renegade Angel, and it is fucking retarded.
Never saw that.
It is amazing, and it is about Abraxas. The dude is Abraxas.
Oh my
He
gosh!
is-
Oh my gosh! I know what you're talking
he has the beak, and he's brown with the two. He has one snake leg, and he's just like, like he is fucking stupid, dude. And Nick's seen it. Nick's seen Xavier Renegade Angel, and maybe we should watch it on stream because there are all these occult themes. in
Oh,
it
the
now.
adult swim shit is wild.
Yo,
Yeah.
Headless.
Oh, wow.
Xavier Renegade Angel stream soon, dude. We're gonna do an occult reject special, guys. Y'all better show up. Actually, we probably can't do that on YouTube. So
but we can do it on Rumble and
better
everywhere.
get Rumble accounts, everybody.
Yeah, there we go.
All our YouTubers over here.
There's a lot of
Look,
stuff I would do on Rumble, not on here for sure. I like that. I
Right.
like movies and shit. I just won't do it here.
Oh, dude. Hey, I mean, we could do it on my channel, then come to the Gray Pill channel. But
I got
We all got Rumble
It
channels.
will.
Hey, Eros and Ethan, you guys got to get Rumble channels.
You got to get Rumble channels, Arrows
Love this
and Ethan. It is a requirement now. We got to get. We all have to have Rumble channels so we can raid each other.
Yeah. It's gonna
Just
be
look
amazing.
at
All
this
right.
yin yang ovoid, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's just amazing. And it makes me think, of course, they thought the planets revolved in circles for a long time until they figured out that they more go in oval kind of shape, right?
Oh wow.
Look at the heart.
That's where it comes from. Yeah, abracadabra comes from a
The stylized rendition of a simple torus. So they're trying to give you a torus, but they're making the shape of a heart. And it has the double strand helix in the middle too. And this thing, I mean, look, they totally ripped that off in all the sci-fi movies that are trying to show a black hole. They've got the same deformation pattern of the light as it's passing in front of it.
Interesting. And I mean, let's not. Hey, go back up to the to the diagram again.
Oh, which one?
Nick,
This one?
or headless? No, the one we were just looking at. Yeah. So that's the black hole right there.
In the middle, yep.
Okay, let's not.
Well, one side of
what
it is
does
the
that
black
look
hole,
like?
one side's the white hole.
It looks like a hole, right?
Right.
And so we're gonna say that with respect to the ladies,
So
both on the stream and in the chat.
I
But it does
never-
look like a vagina.
Yeah, it does.
It
Well,
looks like a moose knuckle or a camel toe, and
Well-
so
uh-oh. It could be Crowley, and we don't want to go there.
Oh, shit.
no, I'm
So-
That
sorry.
was vagina and demons.
I digress. Disavow.
Just a,
This is the first I've heard of the white hole.
The universe is on top too, and the hologram's on the bottom. I didn't notice that the first time.
Oh, interesting.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. That's
You see drawings
in
like
the
that
hologram.
where it will look
we
like
are we in the hologram?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
If I'm
Whose
if I
hologram?
go into meditation, actually, I don't even have to go into
Sabazius?
meditation.
Oh,
If
fuck.
I
Over
If I
in his
just-
hand.
if I'm just like if I focus somewhere long enough, everything starts vibrating. Like lines, like in my house, like the what do you call it? Like trim and stuff. Like if I focus on something long enough, or not even long enough, like just for a minute, everything I can see the particles all start vibrating. It's so weird.
Right.
Yeah.
They start
Nothing
skipping.
is really solid. I'm not even touching this really.
Right.
Well,
Right.
here's
only
a good
thing-
example.
Oh, sorry, what?
Well, I was going to say, like, you're vibrating at a certain vibration too. So if you actually throw off your own internal vibrations with the rest of the environment around you, things start to get funky. Like you don't actually perceive things in the right timing that it's existing there. So there has to be sort of like a syncing or an enmeshing of signals.
Yeah, and you can do that very intentionally too. You can
Right.
use your own vibration to shift things around you, and people will pick up on it, and sometimes they really won't like it and other times they will. And I always try to align my vibration in a way that's going to help elevate anyone that comes in contact with me. It's going to help anyone that comes in contact with me to further pursue truth and have more peace and know the goodness that I believe that is God, that is the reason we exist. Because that's the other thing with learning a lot of this stuff, that when we learn all of this in such scientific terms, it can start to feel cold, right? And I'm not saying to all of us, but maybe just to someone listening, that it can be kind of like scary and like put you in a state of like an existential crisis. But I've had many existential crises, and I always lean into God. That is what all of this is. And then I just,
Well, you can let
it all works out.
That-
I get all these signs and
yeah.
symbols and just peace. And
Well,
yeah.
I've said this. You can let that crisis define you as a person or refine you as a person, right? I think
It's
that's
an-
very
an
important to note.
initiation, right? It's like I said earlier, like every time that like it's uncomfortable every time we experience some kind of cognitive dissonance. It seems to me like everyone here kind of leans into that, right? We all want to learn more. We want to have a deeper understanding of what is true and real, right? But a lot of people don't.
Yeah, people are okay. They just want their football. They want, bread and circus.
Yeah.
But was it my turn again so soon?
Ooh, are we going to this out of body section?
Or was it?
Well,
I don't know.
I
It
don't
may
know,
not
we're-
be my turn.
I don't remember whose turn it was. Are we
Uh,
at quality
you
consciousness?
just read Bing Bang, and Taurus. Is it my turn now? Are we
I
good?
think so, Nick.
Yeah. I'll go.
You just
Our place in time. Yeah. That's why I had it pulled up. So I'm assuming that's where we looked. The observed distribution of galaxies suggests that our particular universe is located near the top of the egg at the point where matter begins to fall back on itself, thus explaining the reason why the galaxies to the north seem to be moving away more rapidly as they are caught up in the downturn of the stream of matter towards the far end of the cosmic egg. Layered over this cosmic egg is the absolute, which sustains the radiating nucleus from which the original jet of matter issued forth. As the stream of matter moves around the ovoid towards its destination at the black hole, where it will be reabsorbed into the radiating nucleus, and then the absolute, it generates the interference pattern within the cosmic egg, which constitutes the universal hologram or torus. Since the torus is being simultaneously generated by matter in all the various phases of time, it reflects the development of the universe in the past, present, and future, as it would be seen from our particular perspective in one phase of time. By reflecting on this model, it becomes possible to see how human consciousness, brought to a sufficiently altered or focused state, could obtain information concerning the past, present, and future, since they all exist in the universal hologram simultaneously. In the case of the future, because all of the consequences of the past and present can be seen coming together in the hologram, such that the future can be predicted or seen with total accuracy. Moreover, it is possible to see how the implosion of energy patterns would cross and recross to create an incredibly complex four-dimensional hologram of torus, in spiral shape and in reflection of the multi-dimensional developing pattern of evolution. All of the movements of the energies which comprise the universe leave their mark and hence tell their story throughout time. Some deep shit right there.
Mhm. Is that the universal subconsciousness, or I mean, some people call it the Akashic record, or there's lots of different ideas of like a base level information field.
Halls of Amenti, dude. This is what Thoth talks about. It was supposedly in the Emerald Tablets, right?
Right.
This place where he goes to rest for thousands of years, and it's like this, hall of records where he records things there and then reincarnates. So people look at it in different ways. Amenti is a dimension, I believe. It's talked about in other occult texts, I'm pretty sure.
Right. And amente means of the mind, right?
Right. And wow. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Or it means without mind, which would be even more interesting. 26, quality of consciousness. We noted earlier that the out-of-body state involves projection of a major portion of the energy pattern that represents human consciousness so that it may move either freely throughout the terrestrial sphere for purposes of information acquisition or into other dimensions outside of time-space, perhaps to interact with other forms of consciousness within the universe. Consciousness is the organizing and sustaining principle that provides the impetus and guidance to bring and keep energy in motion within a given set of parameters so that a specific reality will result. When the consciousness reaches a state of sophistication in which it can perceive itself, its own holograms, it reaches the point of self-cognition. Human beings have this form of elevated consciousness, as does the absolute, but in case of the latter, it is a function of omnipotence in perceptual unity when energy returns to a state of total rest. Within the absolute, it returns to the continuum of consciousness in the pool of limitless, timeless perception that resides there. Thus, the more complex an energy system in the material state, the more consciousness it possesses to maintain its reality. Our consciousness, therefore, is that differentiated aspect of the universal consciousness which resides within the absolute. It accounts for the organization of the energy patterns which it constitutes our physical body, but it is distinctly separate from and superior to it, since consciousness exists quite apart from and outside of reality. Now, hold on. He's suggesting that the only reason why we have disunified consciousness is because it's saved on energy. I guess that's one formula. I've just never considered it before. Absolute has neither beginning nor end. Reality has both beginning and an end because it is bound within time space, but the fundamental quantum of energy and its associated consciousness is eternal. When reality ends, its constituent energy simply returns to infinity in the absolute. So it's sort of like subspace, right? From Star Trek. That's how they send messages across the galaxy. They're sending it in subspace, which is just something they invented to say that they were able to send it faster than light.
Email.
Right.
Fascinating.
Let's see. Should I read the next one?
Yeah, I think after this, then we'll stop here after this one.
Sounds good. Consciousness in perspective. Having ascertained that human consciousness is able to separate from physical reality and interact with other intelligences in other dimensions within the universe, and that it is both eternal and destined for ultimate return to the absolute, we are faced with the question, so what happens then? Since memory is a function of consciousness and therefore enjoys the same eternal character as the consciousness which accounts for its existence, it must be admitted that when consciousness returns to the absolute, it brings with it all the memories it has accumulated through experience in reality. The return of consciousness to the absolute does not imply an extinction of the separate entity which the consciousness organized and sustained in reality. Rather, it suggests a differentiated consciousness which merges with and participates in the universal consciousness and infinity of the absolute without losing the separate identity and accumulated self-knowledge which its memories confer upon it. Should we look at that picture?
Yeah. You want to look at it for a second?
What the hell?
Arrow, so you posted this, I think, right?
That picture, yes.
Yeah. I saw you had posted this on Twitter.
Do you want to scroll up to it?
Yeah. What is the galactic north? Galactic north and galactic south. What is he trying to imply with this?
The universe, Taurus.
Someone noted that they were moving at different speeds, and that's how he different.
Yeah, because the speeds would indicate the quantum entanglement, the speed of one particle being connected to the speed of another. So all of these different universes / galaxies just vibrate at different speeds in relationship to each other, I guess. And
Right.
so he's sort of implying that.
Wow.
Okay, I'll continue. What it does lose is the capability for generation of independent thought holograms, since that can be done only by energy in motion. In other words, it retains the power to perceive, but loses the power of will or choice. In exchange, however, this consciousness participates in the all-knowing, infinite continuum of consciousness, which is a characteristic of energy in the ever-present. Consequently, it is accurate to observe that when a person experiences the out-of-body state, he is, in fact, projecting that eternal spark of consciousness and memory, which constitutes the ultimate source of his identity, to let it play in and learn from dimensions both inside and outside the time-space world in which his physical component currently enjoys a short period of reality. Talk about Buddhist.
Dude. Not only that, but oh my God.
Well, and in Christianity, this gift of free will from God, right?
It makes me think of the Neoplatonists that think of like these higher intelligences not really having like will,
Wow.
because they have no.
Good catch.
They no longer have free will.
Okay.
Well, they just have nothing that would cause them to will. You know, they don't have.
They're so like enlightened.
This is
They don't have desiring faculties.
Just think of the vibes.
this is the eternal spark, and you could say the identity or the ego, that separates. And this is Credo Motwa talks about this in his book, the Zulu shaman, who was real good friends with David Icke, very interesting guy. Basically talks about the Moya and the Ina being like the two parts of the soul, and how one part kind of stays here when we pass on, and the other part is what we take with us to our next life, or wherever we, if we ascend to some other higher state of consciousness and some other dimension. But there's another part of us that stays here, and either I don't know if it can take up form, or if it just kind of is like your etheric shell, I think, is how Hall has described it, as well as Paracelsus when he talks about the elementals and stuff. But yeah, that's just some fascinating stuff, man.
Yeah, it's like the spirit and the soul, kind of.
Yeah. That's it's called the Moya and the Ina. Y'all should look. I mean, dude, we can do an episode on. We can do a whole episode on Credo, and I'll present what I've read in this book. I'm still not done with it, but I can finish it in a couple days.
Same as like God the Father and then the Son.
What?
Christ.
What do you mean? On the
Like the
macrocosm?
same- yeah.
I
Right? But
think
there's so many of these stories with the
it's.
same
Oh,
kind of story over and
I
over
don't think it's just the sun. I think it's more. I think all the emanations that people have encountered, in their ethos and their mythos, throughout time in each culture, are these emanations from God. So
Right,
that's
right.
kind of more of what I think it is.
Yeah.
But
Well, you got to think about the vibes too. Like we think of the moon giving off certain amounts of energy during different phases. These different planets, as they're in conjunction with one another, they're giving off other types of energy that's been characterized in ways that, give it a personality. So there's all sorts of other different energies interacting at the same time that sort of go along the kind of spectrum of personalities that usually apply to these different energies.
I just wanted to say too, Neoplatonists also believe, right, in the nous and the world soul, and that the world soul is kind of what actually brings things into form and manifests things, whereas like nous is like the ideas, the intellectual structure. And so it's like here too, they're talking about if you don't have I think they were saying like you can't create a hologram if you are separated from that energy. I thought that
Yeah.
was
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting. And it's also interesting because the ancient Hellenistic astrologers say that the moon kind of reflects the sun and brings
Bingo.
things into form, and the sun is like that would be more like the spirit, and the moon the soul, and the sun is also that karmic component, so that memory that is held of you that continues after you die. It's all like kind of mirrored there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like I've heard people talk about, or I heard a man once talk about that had a near-death experience. And he said he was shown like just it was almost like screens, and he could go in and experience every moment of existence of every human being to ever exist. And that one I found probably the most fascinating. I'm like,
Hey, Nick,
I'd love to experience that.
isn't one
when
of
I
the
die.
one of the like logos for the show the screen of the scorpion and the snake? It's kind of like a
Oh yeah. With the,
like a
those
real-
movie screens, yeah, with those movie.
yeah. Is that what it kind of looks like whenever
Yeah,
you're
there's a
seeing it?
scorpion. There's a scorpion and a snake in there.
Wow. And that's well, I mean that I think the first time me and you sat down together on my show, we talked about that. Your experience.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah, man. Well, hey, there you go.
Those
More confirmation when you see it happen in other places, right? You see it happen with other people and you hear these different stories, and they may come from different lines of thought or, theology, but they sync up in some way. Always, never fails.
Yeah. Spirit of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's how people perceive it and how it's presented to us, right? That's where the inversion and all the distortion comes in, and how it's used to manipulate what we're doing right here, right?
Yeah.
To discredit real conversations and legit facts and, well, obviously opinions, but
Yes.
Wait, hold
a
on.
bit, a
agree
lot of
with
varying opinions.
Liquid, how much of the planet without bringing God's promise? I think that we have so much more agency than we realize. I think that is the great deception, is that we aren't powerful beings, that we don't have God within us like we do, right? That's why I think that sorry, I was just responding to a comment. I don't know. I think that all of the occultic black magic that the elites are doing to, manipulate however they see fit. I think we can counter any of that, and humanity can continue to exist. And right? I mean, I don't know. The only thing I don't like about putting all of this in scientific terminology, which I think is helpful, is just in another way of putting God in a box kind of thing. I love having these conversations though. But I don't know. God's an artist. They kind of left that out.
Yeah, but are we on 28 or are we gonna?
I think we're gonna wrap it up, Headless. I think that's what Nick said.
All right,
Yes. Yeah. Where did you finish off, Ethan?
28.
We're at 28. All right.
Gateway method.
Perfect. Can't forget
Right.
that gateway method. Awesome stuff. Oh, some weird shit in there. Oh, there we go.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you very much again, Eros. This is really very fucking interesting shit to read.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that you guys wanted to do it. It's been a
Oh,
great
yeah.
time.
I remember reading through them the first time. I was like, yo, what the fuck? It was weird. I was like, this is bugged out. Yeah.
It's so dense and difficult to read and so deep.
Well, I think it's cool that they proved all of their stuff with a thought experiment in the beginning, which was you participating in the thought experiment without your knowledge. So they're describing a thought experiment outside of time and space, which technically shouldn't be possible for you to imagine since you exist in time and space. And they said that's actually evidence of your consciousness existing somewhere outside of a different dimension. And then all the rest of that stuff followed from that single point of reasoning. So
Yeah. I mean, that's like all of metaphysics too. It's like, at least, like back when Plotinus was doing it, it's just looking at things in the world and like reasoning, which is funny because they couldn't prove a lot of those things, but a lot of it was right.
Zeno's paradox. That's a great one.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, so Zeno was a philosopher who proposed this idea that if you fire an arrow at a target, it has to go halfway to the target, and then halfway again, and then halfway again, and then halfway again. Does it ever actually reach the target? It's got to keep going halfway to get to the goal, right? So how does it do that if it's got to go halfway before it can reach the target? Because it can't reach the target before it goes halfway, right? How is anything separate from anything else? It's
Right.
not. We all
Right, like
actually
you
exist in the same whole.
Make
Yeah.
some leaps of logic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what he was trying to say was that everything is one thing. There is no separation between anything. That's
Yeah.
the illusion.
Yeah. That's like the idea that so many of our thoughts are just not our own. We're just picking up on stuff all the time, right? And people just don't realize, they're not conscious and aware of it. We are clearly.
Have discernment. But then
most
you have
people
to.
are not.
Yeah.
Like I'll go in public places sometimes and my thought patterns will change so much, and it is not from me observing things. And I will know like, okay, I'm picking up on what someone else around me is thinking. And sometimes it's like dark, twisted stuff. And I'm like, I know that's not my natural thought pattern. So I know it's not me. And I have kind of gotten to where I can block that out. The part that I haven't been able to block out, Eros, is what you were saying, is the other people's feelings. That I'm still really trying to master. It's very difficult. But do you guys know what I mean? Have you ever observed that in your own experience? Just going around?
I think that they proved that scientifically, that like telepathy does exist on some level.
Absolutely. And so if you're spiritually sensitive to that naturally, like it can be very overwhelming for me sometimes, just, I don't know, going places.
Well, now they got this blindfold vision. I think I'm going to take the course. I'm going to jump in, dude. But
Oh, yeah.
they got blindfold
You already
vision.
have the whole Dionysian
really?
glasses or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it.
You're already working with
Wait,
the
what is
auras
the
and your
course?
visions.
Tell us about it.
So these kids, they have these blindfolds on these kids, and then they train them to see without using their eyes.
I've seen it. You're going to
blindfold
do
vision.
that?
Right?
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, might as well.
Oh, that's awesome. You should totally do it.
That's like so weird though, because then that suggests that like consciousness is a hive mind, kind of, that like there's like this connection to all electrons, like panpsychism and stuff, because that's
Well,
that's how
Eros-
they justify panpsychism a lot.
Yeah, hive mind. 100.
Eros, the thing is that the people who can do this have different spots on their head that they pick up what's on the card better than other spots. So they actually have to hold whatever they're looking at different angles to their head to actually get a good picture or a reading of what they're looking at. So it's not like, Yeah, everywhere all the time. It's really strange. So, you know,
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe it is a different sensory organ. I mean, we've got all these different, sensors in our brains. Maybe there is some other way of it picking up on energy around us.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it because I mean, like I told you guys earlier with, my dad being murdered and having to go to trial and I mean, it was so crazy being in there. Anytime the defense would kind of get a leg up, and they would start to kind of prove their case well, I mean, I would just start praying under my breath. And they would literally in front of our eyes, he can tell you, I mean, they'd be dropping papers and they'd be they'd lose their train of thought.
They were messy. Yeah.
No, they weren't messy though. They were on top of
Oh.
it. They were messy
I
when
saw
I
something
set my
different.
intention to them being messy because they were defending a guy that murdered my dad for being
Well,
white.
they looked messy.
That's what happened. My dad
Let's
was
say that.
murdered. It was a hate crime. And no, there's something to that for sure. And I think it's call it prayer, call it intention, call it whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent about that. That's really cool though. You should definitely do that. And then you should do an episode and let us know about your experience.
Oh, we'll hear about
I'm
it.
fascinated.
All right.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm very powerful. I don't feel like I can project a lot of stuff.
You are. For me, it was just I think part of my initiation to extreme trauma, dark night of the soul. It's like a yin and yang thing, right? Like extreme suffering, a death, and then a rebirth. So not a fun process, but nevertheless, I don't know. It is what it is. I just try to. It's not like I don't know. I don't like to say I'm powerful. I don't want to make it about my ego. I give glory to creator of the universe that empowers me, empowers all of us, right? But yeah, there's something to it for sure. Collective consciousness. Carl Jung that I was talking about, the psychologist, in all of our Western psychology is based off of, I guess, mostly Freud. Should have based it off of Jung. He had everything way more figured out. He was naturally very psychic.
Yeah, imagine if they had Jungian psychology. That would be
Right.
great.
Yeah, because we know where Freud's head really was, right? Both.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was
Red
definitely-
Book was it wasn't printed until the 1980s. They didn't print the Red Book until way, way later after his death. So it's crazy.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Last thing, Headless. Have you heard of the book, The Immortality Key?
I have not. No.
His name's Brian something. Anyways, you should look into it. I think you would find it very interesting, all of you. He pretty much
do.
proved that just like psychedelic use and early what?
Oh,
What were you saying?
no, nothing.
Sorry, never mind. I'll stop.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Sorry, Joel was telling me to stop talking.
No, I'm not. I'm not telling her to stop talking.
He was. I'll stop talking, you guys.
There's no way we have to wrap it up soon because it is getting late.
It is.
And we have a show early in the morning.
This is very fun. Thank you guys for having me on.
Of course, yeah. Definitely come back to the other one.
Well, we're gonna have to have a part 3, right?
I think I could do it in 2 weeks again.
So I mean, well, you can come on. Like I said,
Well,
I've
yeah.
told her. I was like, you can come out here and just,
I
you know
can't wait.
what,
Our
dude?
kids weren't here
Well, you know what?
tonight,
I'll watch our kids,
so.
and you can come out here and hop on Nick and Headless and Arrows and Ethan and whoever else. We have a lot of rejects and stock.
Awesome.
So, you can come out here and I'll watch the kids for a couple shows if you want to. I mean, if
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
well,
But,
so
yeah,
y'all
Jules has to
make it a
take over
surprise.
all the free time with our kids.
Well, you gotta stream it to your channel and stuff, and you gotta get people following your channel. We gotta beef your channel up. I mean, I created all her stuff for her about a year ago, and like I said, we've been busy and
I'm busy.
so trying to get her to, because she has a lot of good ideas for episodes and stuff. So I really wanted to actually put it out there and not just keep it all,
I want to put it
bottled
out
up.
there for it to reach the right people.
Well, the right people will come. Trust me.
Yeah.
Your audience won't be,
Yeah.
the same audience you have day one won't be your audience 2 years later. Trust me. But anyway, Nick, yeah. You want?
Thank you very much, Jules. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
All right. Eros Up. You want to let everybody know where they can find all your amazing work, please?
Sure. Yep. You can find me on YouTube at Erosup and Twitter at Eros to Ethos. Me and Headless do an alchemy podcast on Mondays, and I have a handful of deep dive videos and Neoplatonist studies on my YouTube. So go check those out.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And Jules, please let them know where they can find Grey Pill and everything else.
Oh yeah, man. Well, again, this was another banger as always, guys. And I'm glad that Olivia could join us this time, and hopefully many more times. But if you want to, y'all go follow her. Go follow her. YouTube and Rumble, Babe Lawn Podcast, Twitter. I don't know what your Twitter is.
Lady __
3
Mystique.
underscores, Lady 3 underscores Mystique,
One
and
or
then
2 underscores.
Instagram,
Because I don't care.
Lady Mystique on Instagram. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't follow me on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know. I mean, she probably has a Spotify that I create. I think I made you Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the stuff that I have for me. So y'all go follow her over there, and it still has a episode 2 of her podcast that she never dropped. It's pretty good. So
Oh yeah, I have.
I'll put that out for you.
It's on YouTube though.
Oh, it's on YouTube, so it's not on Rumble. So I'll put that out for you on Rumble this week, guys. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Graypill Pod, Graypill _podcast on Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please leave me good reviews. Please be nice. And then if you want to support the show, patreon.com/Graypill Podcast. If you're a Rumble person, you go to locals. I'm gonna post the link for the show tomorrow morning over there. We have an esoteric book review, Pizza Sophia Part 3, and Epic of Gilgamesh. The wheel spoke, and we will answer. So it's going to be, we'll probably do Gilgamesh second on Patreon on the paywall. So
Wait, that's what you're doing next?
that's tomorrow.
That was the names during the spelling bee today. Gilgamesh.
Wait, what?
During our
My son did a
son's
spelling bee today, and one of the names was fucking Gilgamesh.
He won one of the first in the county. Gilgamesh
Yeah.
and Sumerian was one of the names. It was a very short spelling bee, and they chose those.
Okay.
Those 2
Okay.
words, sorry.
Everyone watching my show knows by now. This shit happens all the time with me. Synchronicities line up. My friend Josh was like, "Well, I'm learning Sumerian," that she works with, that we both grew up with.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Elohim etymologies. This is a sign. Elohim etymologies have to come back. Headless, I need you.
Maybe it's a sign that we should bring back brick communication. Like if we could just talk to each other with hardened clay bricks, I think we can get around this whole problem with the internet, censorship, everything else. You can't do it anymore. This is censorship resistant communication we need to bring back.
But anyway, guys, check out our episode, our Rustic Gods episode that we did on Etna, Mount Etna, Wednesday. Me, Nick, and Headless is a banger. Go check that out. If you've been following the Rustic God series that we're doing on the Occult Rejects, you're gonna get an intro in there soon. Also got new stickers. Where'd you put those stickers? I know you did something with them.
Your hat's on top of them.
It's not.
Oh, well, I just moved stuff from over here over there.
Nick, sorry. All right. Well, I'm gonna grift these stickers because I usually have them right here in front of me, but they weren't right here. I got the new Gray Pill Dale Cooper sticker. We got some Twin Peaks stickers we're
This is
printing.
the anniversary, 1 year anniversary. Since
We're not doing an anniversary. We're doing a 3-year anniversary.
I said
Not
since he died. Today's 1 year anniversary since David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah. And then
Today is?
Gods of the Morning Wood. Yeah, I'll be sending you guys some sticker packs, so don't worry.
I believe it's either 1 year anniversary since he died or his birthday today.
Yeah, just recently, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And Thursday, Jonathan and his co-host from Metamystics will be on Gray Pilled. So y'all check that out. It's at 9 Central. Jonathan's the ex-co-host from Cult of Conspiracy. So it's going to be a banger. Going to be a good time. I got a lot to talk about. Donkey-headed gods and all that stuff. So yeah, Headless, tune in.
All right, you got
Someone
it.
who's a hypnotist, isn't it? He does hypnotism too, right?
Jonathan does hypnotism. Yes. And I plan on talking. I
that
think
in mind.
Rat told me that, and I was like, yeah. I didn't know that. Some things you don't know about people. Anyway, but yeah, no, this was a fun episode. Thanks for having us on, Nick.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you. Ethan.
Stay grateful to everybody.
Awesome.
Well, salute everyone. That was awesome. Of course, I can't wait for the next one. Ethan Indigo Smith, easy to find. I write frequently and do participate in great podcasts like this as well. So I'm easy to find. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, so he's got plenty of books too. Go check him out on the Ethan Indigo. They're all Amazon. Right, sir?
I got to get one of those, Ethan.
But yeah, I think I like to say meditation, it makes time. People say meditation takes time, but it actually makes time. Some ideas are like that too. Like it.
I need you to book on my Calendly too. We can talk about it later, but
Definitely.
need you on Gray Pilled.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were, if someone wanted to get one of your books, which one would you recommend them read first?
Well, the most well-read one is The Geometry of Energy. That's the one that is most widely read. Although The Matrix of Four, I think, is powerful, as well as
I think I'll get that one.
the Fourth Initiation I wrote too. The Tao of Thoth, I dropped that right when the pandemic hit. And I think it might have gone a little bigger if it was dropped at a different time where the East and West coming together was not so taboo. And of course, the world was distracted with the sickness, but also it was like my whole idea was bring the East and West together. But right at that time, that was not like the popular idea.
Well, I mean,
But thanks.
most
Nick.
Western, a lot of Western esotericism comes from Eastern mysticism. So
Sure. Yeah.
You remind me a lot of my brother, and that's a compliment.
Oh,
He's
cool.
brilliant. He lives in Hong Kong.
Appreciate that. Nice.
Headless Giant.
Yes,
All
please.
right. You can find me at the Headless Giant on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. And on Mondays, I've got Alchemy Mondays with Arrows Up, which is going to be kicking off again here pretty soon. And on Sundays, I've got the Trialogues with Ethan and Ricardo, which is always fun. We always find a way to take everything and then associate it back to itself. It's a good time. You guys would really enjoy it. And also, I got the book review usually that I do on Saturdays with Jules, and we'll figure out another Rusted God sooner or later. Oh, Thursdays, the mailbag. So
Yeah, mailbag on Thursdays. We're gonna try to start doing Rusted Gods on Wednesdays. So who are you saying next time we're gonna do Eros and
Eros and Psyche.
Psyche? Yeah.
That sounds
You
good.
can join us for one of those too. If you
Yes.
want. You can join us for any of them.
Well, Headless, you're awesome. Ethan, you're awesome. Eros, you're awesome. Nick, right? It's Nick.
Yeah.
I remembered, and I'm terrible with names. Nick, you're awesome. You guys are all so awesome. This was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This was like the most refreshing podcast experience I've ever had. Jules had to like start my podcasting journey with just ridiculousness.
With
so this was great.
Sunday Chaos and Schizo News Network.
This
So,
was great.
Oh,
and Nick
You guys
was
are
Nick
great.
joined the Schizo
Great
News Network. He
vibes.
never came back on.
nope.
Good. You have a, yeah, that's
smart,
You're
yeah.
wise.
Yeah, you get canceled real quick hanging out over there.
Yeah, you think? There you go. Listen to this guy, Jules.
I had to take a shower after I left that show.
Hey, it was over a year ago.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Imagine me. I'm like so like spiritually sensitive. I was like, oh my God, I have to go like
We love you, Nate.
anyways. Thank you.
All right. Yes, no, thank you. Thank you. Thank you everybody who jumped in. There was a bunch of people in the chat. Oh, we got 93 people exactly live on all platforms.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
Crowley confirmed.
Nice.
93. Yes. So thank you everybody. That was that was wild. That was some deep shit. I really look forward to finishing it off. Hopefully maybe in 2 weeks we can do it again. I know I'm open then for that Friday. We'll see how it works. But yes, we will finish it off. And until the next one, everybody be well. Later.